Hello, Mm, good morning, dear students. This is our new educational year that you are going to be appear into the 12th class, the most important turn in your life. It's our first lecture that we are going to learn through the modern device that is YouTube channel video. Since last 3 months, the whole world is suffering from the world pandemic. Different kinds of countries are trying to stop this, but nobody is getting success. First, we should pray for all those who have passed away from this world because of this pandemic, and wish all them good luck for fighting against this. As we don't know when all these things are going to be stopped, that's why our educational institute Shikshan Prasarak Mandal has decided not to be students to be suffered because of this pandemic. So they have suggested us, our college principal and the institute Shikshan Prasarak Mandal has suggested us to take care of the students' syllabus and their career. That's why we are going to learn through this process. Actually, it's a one-way method. I'm just going to explain you the content. You have to read it again and try to understand the concepts explained by me. It is not possible to explain in detail as we have limited time of about just 12 or 15 minutes. Today we are going to learn the very first lesson, an astrologer's day. The story is very simple, told by R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan was a southern writer, author, who wrote about 15 novels. We are going to see his literature, what he wrote, and how his style was into his introduction. But it's a very simple story that leads us to the rural lifestyle. It informs us how the rural lifestyle is. An astrologer, we see around the village that uh, there are many types of astrologers that come across us into the village. Some of them are doing all these tactics for their livelihood. Some do for their families, and some only for cheatings. We are going to see what kind of this astrologer is. Now let's start the lesson. The very first activity from the icebreakers is we have to discuss and complete the table given below an activity first. The table shows that three columns. The first one is strength, the second one is why do you feel so, and the third one is dream or career. One example is given by the into the text, that is the strengths, painting and drawing. And why do you feel that you could draw picture, you could paint picture? You have to express here your views, and the example is given, can express. Painting is an expression of the thoughts that come in our mind. It is said that a picture is more expressive than thousand words. That's why painting is the expression of mind. So you could write, why do you feel so in this column? You can express. Then dream. What may be dream according to your strength? If you are interested in the painting or drawing, you may be the cartoonist, or you may be the world famous painter. You may draw pictures and drawings, etc. If you want to be an engineer, civil engineer particularly, it would be helpful for you to draw the buildings drawings accurately. It's an example given into the book. Let's see another example from outside the book. Just one example will be given to you. Strength. What is your strength? Mountaineering is your strength. And why do you feel so? Because you go on trekking, you enjoy it, you love the mountaineering. That's why you think that it's your strength. And how could you set your dream or future into this field? You can be a mountaineer, trekker, as following your dreams. It's the first activity. See into the book. According to this explanation, you will write more and more your strengths. Then you have to write, why do you feel so that this particular quality is inside me? And then according to this quality, how could you set your dream? You have to write all these explanations into the table, as per the table, as per the table format. The next activity is that the scene in a local market. We see that around our villages there are weekly markets, and the scenes are very colorful into the weekly markets. We have to describe these scenes. The first description is given by them. The description is that when we visit these markets, we see that selling flowers, traders are selling flowers, selling groceries, etc. Now, next activities we have to complete. We also see in these markets that sellers also sell their clothes, vegetables. If we were into the classroom, you would have get a chance to laugh more and more. We never forget the smell that comes from the bhajis. That's a, that's one very interested and steaming food that we get from the weekly market. And it's very delicious. Though we prepare at the home, it doesn't have any that kind of taste that we bought from the market. All right, all these are the activities. People comes, bargain with the traders, and buy their needed things, vegetables, clothes, groceries, etc., etc. It's a very colorful picture. Different kinds of people come, um, different kinds of sellers come, and it's a weekly activity. That is the most thing. It shows that the rural life is very simple. They are not greedy. They are not interested to earn more and more things. customers buy only weekly groceries, weekly vegetables, as it is required for them. They are not interested to buy more things. It shows the human tendency that rural people are very simple. They are thinking about their present, not about their future. See this activity into the book. Try to more explain on your own. Note it down and take notes into your notebook. The third one is that uh, here we have been asked to prepare a list of the requirements for astrologers trade. Astrologers need different kinds of equipments to perform his prophecy. We see that he has a parrot and cards, etc. First activity is given. Now, what other equipments he require? We have to write down. We have to make a list of it. The first of all, he needs or he requires, he needs to see the customer's palm and the fingers upon the palm. By seeing them, he could make prophecy of the customer. Then he also make prophecy can seeing the forehead of the customer. Cowrie shells is another equipment that is required to the astrologer. For example, he collect them, spreads on a table. What is the observes then what is the position of cowries, and then explains the prophecy. The next one is a lemon skull of human body. Actually, these two are used for particularly black magic. Skull, human skull, and lemon. These two are used for that kind of witches and ghosts, etc. Black magics. It's a superstitions. It's a superstition. If you know any other than these equipments, make a list of it and write it into your notebook. Okay. And the last one, unreasonable beliefs. There are many unreasonable beliefs. Unreasonable belief means that there is no scientific reason. If this thing happens, then it would be a reaction for that one. For example, as we come out of the house to go on to go for the good job, doing a good job, and suddenly cat crosses your path, then you think that it's not good news for you. It's a superstition. But in villages, there are another examples. There are many examples of this type. The first example is given, a cat crossing your path. We have to make list again of the other examples or other superstitions that we come across into the village. The second thing is that crow crying. If a black crow sits around our house and cries in a monotonous tone, we think that it's a bad news for us. Actually, it's not so. Then early in the morning, if we see a owl's face, we also think that it's not good news for us. How should our the whole day will be spent? Actually, This one is also false one. So if you know more things or more superstitions like this, you could also make a list. These are the 4 activities you have to solve into your notebook from the icebreakers. The first is table. You have to fill it. I have explained it well. See it again. The second one is the market scene. The pictures from the market scene you have to describe into your notebook. The next one is the third one is the list of requirements for astrologer's trade. I have told you, you could write your own also requirements. And the fourth, and that is the last one is unreasonable beliefs. There are many unreasonable beliefs which doesn't have at all reason. Why should we believe in them? It's a, these beliefs are not scientific. They have to write. Also, then the next one, this is the icebreakers, and all these are activities from icebreakers. Now let's come to an astrologer's day, the lesson. The writer is, let's see the writer's introduction. The writer is Rashipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayan Swamy is the full name of R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan wrote about 14 novels and 5 volumes, 5 books of short stories. His tradition is kind of southern, belongs to the South India. So he depicts the lifestyle of southern people in his literature. Also, he has written the travelogues and his memoir, that is the biography, My Days. It is also a renowned book written by him. Now, the most important thing, according to this lesson, is that it's a story. An astrologer's day is a story taken from his book Malgudi Days. Malgudi is a small village in South India where people live a rural life in a simple way. He has tried to depict their contribution to the village, their transaction with each other, how they interact with each other, how they speak to each other. He has tried to depict in his stories. There are 32 stories in his book Malgudi Days. Malgudi is a fictitious village, and these stories are presented with a humor or unoffendable irony. Unoffendable means humor that is made not to hurt anyone. This way, he has written an interesting stories from the fictitious village with fictitious characters. Writing style is pure, innocent. His literature was introduced to Americans in 1952, and Americans were also pleased by reading it. Also, he was offered Sahitya Academy Award in 1952, I think, for the guide. It should be confirmed when he was awarded Sahitya Academy Award. The year is given into the author's information. You could confirm it. But his novel, The Guide, was one of the most famous and won Sahitya Academy Award for it. As we have already told that his writing style has humor, irony, Indianness is also there. Indianness means Indian traditionals are followed, etc. etc. An astrologer is one character or one story taken from that book, Malgudi Days. It is one of the 32 stories an astrologer's day. Now let's start. What is the story? Now it is not possible to describe in each and every details. That's why I am briefing it. You have to refer the book and then get the notes. Okay. When you are going to solve the activities, below the text, you will be helpful this video. Punctually at midday, he opened his bag and spread out his professional equipments, which consisted of dozen cowrie shells, a square piece of cloth with obscure mystic charts on it, a notebook, and a bundle of Palmyra writing. Whenever we see that an astrologer, he comes with his equipments, as we have seen into the icebreakers activity. Here he is called as professional equipments. He is called with the professional equipments. He spreads on them on the road. What are here? The activity may be asked you. What are his equipments? Consisted dozens of equipments. Cowrie shells are there. Then square piece of clothes with obscure mystic charts. Charts? How the obscure mystic charts should be? I will show you. Just these are the magicians' obscure mystic charts, like this. Like this. These may be the obscure mystic charts. According to them, there's some notes on it, and according to these notes, they make prophecies of their clients or customers. Also, square piece of clothes with obscure mystic charts on it. The charts on curved on the square piece of clothes. A notebook. He has notebook and a bundle of Palmyra writing. Some descriptions or some writing is given there. His forehead was resplendent with sacred ash, vermilion. On his forehead there is ash, dark ash. He has put, and his eyes sparkled with sharp, abnormal, which was really an outcome of a continual searching look for customers. He is always in search of customers, so his eyes are sparked with outlook. But which his simple client took to be a prophetic light. His clients think that he is a prophet. Actually, his eyes were sparked by seeing his client. But his client think that he is a prophet or he is astrologer. That's why his eyes has a particular kind of light or gleaming, and felt comforted. He felt comforted. That's why. The power of his eyes was considerably enhanced by their position placed. When they when the customers came to him, he he his power of eyes increases itself, and he thinks comfortable more and more as they were between their painted forehead and the dark whiskers which streamed down his cheeks. Also, he has put some whiskers on his cheeks, etc. Some straps are given on his face by Ash. Even a half wit eyes would sparkle in such a setting. The one thing is shown that, or one thing is clear that, these astrologers create atmosphere they needed. When they set their format, the earlier that has been told, the cowrie shells, a square piece of clothes, obscure mystic charts, a notebook, and a bundle of Pamela writing. When they set up their all these things, it creates an atmosphere that he is an astrologer. He makes people believe that he could read their future and could tell about or could inform about what is going to be into their future. So everybody that visits him thinks that I could get relief from my pains and from my future obstacles. Actually, it's not easy to understand the future. If it happens so, we could have solved the corona issue. Alright, come to the point. To crown the effect, he wound saffron colored turban round his head. To make more effect that he is a astrologer, he has wound the saffron turban. Turban means pagdi around his head. Saffron color. It's a symbol of an astrologer's. Then this color scheme never failed. It is said that this colors, when we see that wounding a saffron color person around his head, wounding a saffron color cloth or turban around his head, we see such kind of person. People easily believe in them. They think that he is a really astrologer or he could tell us our prophecy. That's why it is said that this color scheme never failed. People were attracted to him as bees are attracted to cosmos or the Heliostos. It's a kind of, or it's a type, or it's a way to attract the people towards them. He sat under the buds of a spreading tamarind tree, which flanked a path running through a town hall park. There is huge tamarind tree at the mid center of the village, and it's so large that his bugs are spreading everywhere on the road that is crossing through the village. It was remarkable place in many ways, as many people visit it. So he has selected a place where people visit easily. So We are going to stop here for today. It's been a very long time, half hour. Listen it carefully, make notes. If you have any questions, you could ask me onto the group. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you very much.